Hey, I was compli complimenting, complating, complinting. I was thinking. No, I'm gonna keep that in. I was thinking. I was really contemplating, um, whether or not I should make a video today. And honestly, I'm so sick, bro. I know, like looks like, but just I had that made me laugh. But like honestly, I was like really like, and I was at such a cute bed. Like let me drag that over here because I didn't even put it in my cupboard yet. But like I had such a cute feel. I was like, look at this! I thrifted. I thrifted this top. Oh my gosh, I such a great thrift. So pretty, so 2000s-esque, and yet such a good material and everything. And then these jeans with the butterfly. Yeah, but this isn't a thrifting video. Here I wanted to talk about just a thought I had because I was scrolling on TikTok after being like, no, I'm not gonna make a video. Just gonna put on my hoodie and be on with my day. Um, but the video was like obviously showcased, maybe not obviously, but showcased Tucker Carlson saying some like racist, sexist stuff, and then this woman is wonderfully debating it. And I'll like add her at in the chat, but like I think it's less about like her video, like not just it's less about her debunking it, but more so that it got me thinking about the fact that like in order to debate like conservatives, especially on like stuff like Jubilee or like like just like a lot of different platforms, you kind of have to like come with facts. You have to come with your own sources, because like conservatives memorize racist statistics as if it's scripture. And like I thought that and I was like, okay, I need to pull up the computer and like make a video right now talking about that. Even if it's literally just for like a few minutes. And honestly, I'm thinking like maybe we shouldn't get too political because right now we're living in a conservative world and like it's their world and we're living in it. You know what I mean? Like it's very much, especially how the way U.S. politics is going right now. But it just got me thinking that like in order to like debunk all these like myths, I'm going to have to come with stacks upon stacks of citation. Like come with like create a whole little notebook filled with citation, and then like also color coded and like have like like when you have like little like color sticky notes like sticking out from the side that lets you know which section it is. Like I'll have to do that, like have a section for racism and then subsections within racism that say health and racism and like gender and racism and like what else is a subsection of racism, like the prison incarceration system, education outcomes and racism, like IQ related, like I'll have to have different subject then sections for like, and obviously it's gonna be like hard organizing everything. There will have to be a big middle section that says race and gender, and then like further down, or I'll have to think about how to organize this. But then I want there to be a separate section that talks about gender because like everything's so intersectional and all this like crap is like you know like they basically like, do you want fries with your crab, like like because it's just so annoying how much is often delivered as if it's like the most like duh thing in the world and it's the most like consumed idea in the world, but like people of different genders and people of different racial backgrounds and ethnicities, etc., of people of diverse or who I consider minorities in the West, that those people are like therefore less than or inferior, and like like their subjugation then is somehow proof like that it's okay, or like it's proof that like it's like an endless cycle, like somehow the subjugation affirms the inferiority and the inferiority requires subjugation, even though let's be for real, if like someone was genuinely actually operating on an inferior level, subjugation would not be needed. Let's be for real. Like like you don't need to take away people's right to read and write or take restrict people's access to education if they're actually that dumber than you. They would automatically fail without you trying. And it's like, and it's really a myth. It's like a myth that's created to like just reaffirm itself when really no. Like let's be for real. You know that these people are just as capable as you, just as smart, just as well meaning, and like if you literally just gave equal access, it's not even about like funding a more specific group, but all the those funding reparations does need to take place because of the multiple years of generational theft. That's why reparations need to take place, because to account for the generations of like just colonization and like labor exploitation, etc. Like that needs to be accounted for, because that's why the statistics are so like swayed in a certain direction. But that being said, this would never have had to happen if you just like kept it equal from the start. You know what I mean? And to, anyways, it's just like kind of really annoying to like have to debate fact upon fact, just because I feel like if you look at the logic of it, it's so duh. So then like, and I feel like it's also kind of like in some ways insidious to like have to memorize citations. I think it's very like it keeps it within academic spaces. It's very exclusionary on purpose, and it's designed to make people whose logic is so deeply flawed appear factual because they're bringing up all these sources that, by the way, it's going to be hard to fact check in real time. Like, unless you have someone Googling the sources these people are bringing up in real time, it's going to be so difficult to fact check them. Unless it's either you do that, you Google the sources is in real time, or you have your own sources and then you just try to bombard that with that. But like simultaneously, it just helps. It really helps concentrate like these arguments within academia and like elitist spaces. And not only are these spaces elitist, but even after presenting like these facts, because people are both presenting different sources, what you all end up running into the problem is that like then there's the in a we're living in a post-truth era, and so when you offer sources, someone offer alternative sources, and so even if you're able to match the game, you're not going to necessarily convince enough people, you know what I mean, unless you can really like, unless someone has the skill to like listen to you and pick up on the fact that, hey, not only are you bringing sources, but you also your argument actually makes more logical sense. Like, unless someone could pick that up, someone could be easily swayed. And I feel like, especially when you're like, for multiple, it depends on your identity. If you're like young and impressionable, you're not gonna necessarily have that skill to decipher logic yet, and that's okay. You're young and impressionable. Um, and not, it's not necessarily okay because it can be like weaponized. It's okay in the sense that you shouldn't feel ashamed about that. You know what I mean? If you're of a certain subgroup, like so if you're experiencing personally like community loss, like maybe under capitalism you haven't had a feeling of community. Maybe under the patriarchy you feel like you can't access true honesty with your and vulnerability with your feelings. Community with others and connection to support, like that can really breed like frustration with feeling lonely, and they can be a loneliness epidemic, and that loneliness epidemic is not obviously going to be sorted out by like women like reducing your boundaries. But if you're a man experiencing a loneliness epidemic and you're not aware of the fact that like you engaging in emotional intimacy is not a rejection or a potential scar to your reputation, and it does not at all reduce your affirmation of being a man, like you don't experience less gender affirmation as a man by engaging with emotional intimacy. If you were able to realize emotional intimacy is actually really required for you to become a better person and will actually make you a better man, like then perhaps the loneliness epidemic would begin to subside. But instead, the answer to the loneliness epidemic is like, no, let's objectify women who we struggle to emotionally connect with, who we are struggling to open up to trust, because we personally just have trust issues in general. Let's just objectify them and blame them for not submitting to us, for giving us gender affirmation in a different way, in terms of like making us feel validated and making us feel powerful and have authority and leadership skills, even if we don't possess them. You know, like, or like it's a whole like endless cycle, and it's so like annoying and frustrating. And I wish we as a society could just get better at like being able to recognize when sound logic within an argument is just deeply flawed. But that's gonna be very difficult in a society that like we're, especially where the right and like conservatives have, and Republicans in America specifically, have very well fashioned like an alt right pipeline that links internalized feelings of loneliness and despair and like trauma, and like they link that feeling into an alt right pipeline that like that sends you into becoming a fascist essentially, and being willing to get rid of your own rights in order to subjugate others, with the illusion that as you'll be on a higher peg on this ladder and within this hierarchy. It's like, it's basically, I feel like it's a political, no, not even a political, an ideological pyramid scheme. That's what's going on here in modern day society. We have an ideological pyramid scheme where people are buying into the ideas of fascism because they think that it will one day give them what they're seeking and they're yearning for as human beings, and it does not. It never will. But it makes them feel satisfied about the fact that they, within a hierarchy, they hire up than other people when they're not even benefiting. They actually, the net loss that they're experiencing is really great, but within their mind, it's like, no, but I'm better than other people, so it's okay. Anyways, those are my thoughts. I'm gonna eat my food and I'm gonna go to sleep. I wish I had medication. I'm still sick. And I'm gonna post this, but then maybe when I'm applying for my visa, I'll take this out. Okay, bye.